Welcome to the official Universal Disney Nuts podcast. If you're passionate about Central Florida theme parks like we are, then you've come to the right place. Now on to the show. Here's your host, Bill Balcerski.
Universal Disney Nuts, I am Bill, your host. Welcome back to the show. We are back at the Tiki Bar, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. A little soggy today. We got some rain.
Rain? That was a thunderstorm and a half.
The thunder literally knocked things off all the seashells or whatever over
that
here.
I have in the windows and knocked them off.
Knocked them off, bro.
Ledge. Yeah.
That's how strong the thunder was. It was crazy. But we have Mr. Dave Indy.
Hello.
And of course, we have Miss Tanya.
Hello.
So, pretty crazy week. We actually took the last 10 days or so. Had a little vacation, well-needed vacation.
Yeah, we had friends in from out of town.
God, I was so stressed out this last couple of weeks, and thank God that we had our friends Rich and Barb come down, and they joined us, stayed with us for about 4 days or so, and it was amazing. Now, my best friend Rich, I don't get a chance to see him much because he lives in Arizona, but obviously, I think you know Rich and Barb, right? Because they know you.
Yeah, from Wild Horse Days.
So fired up the libations at the Tiki Bar.
Of course.
They had brought us Chief Come On, I Want to Lay Ya.
Yeah, we have a couple of new additions to the Tiki Bar.
That's right. He's extremely popular. We'll take a picture of him, post him on Universal Disney Nuts Facebook page.
Yeah.
I was looking at the mugs earlier. Actually, I was watching the cat, waiting to see if the cat was going to knock off the mugs.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. Simba joins the podcast, which is rare.
Yeah.
Simba and Kona, obviously. He's just like, yeah, whatever. We had an awesome couple of days. We fired up the Tiki Bar. We went kayaking at Weeki Wachee Springs.
I saw that. It looked nice.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It was amazing, bro.
It was so relaxing.
So awesome, man. The perfect weather. The water temp was perfect. Like, everything went great. Went to the beach at Fort DeSoto out there. We went to the North Beach there. It was amazing. Yeah. And then we finished strong at IOA. So he hasn't been to IOA in quite a long time since he's worked there, actually. No, I can't say that. He's been there before.
That was probably a big change for him, at least certain areas.
Oh, I couldn't get him out of the new roller coaster at Jurassic Park. I mean, he was just like staring at it like a little kid. You know, he was just like, that thing's going to be intense.
I can't wait to see it when I go next week.
It's going to be unreal.
Oh, I actually need to still post the up close and personal pictures from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, we got some really good pictures when we were there.
We found out a secret little hidden spot. Well, it's not really hidden. It's kind of, hidden in plain sight kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we got some really cool, up front and close up pictures.
You went around the lagoon.
We did.
Oh yeah. So we finally got a chance to ride Hagrid's. That was amazing. Yes, finally.
That is my favorite ride, I think.
Oh,
now
my
God.
God.
I still need to do it at night. I want to try it at night because coasters are always different at nighttime.
True.
I will tell you that I was shocked at a couple of things. Now, I was a little weary getting on it because of the whole vertigo thing. So I got to be very careful on which rides I can go on and which rides I can't.
Yeah.
I was surprised how fast it was.
It is quick.
Like, it hauls ass. I mean, it is super fast.
It's low to the ground and just the way it moves.
Yeah.
It definitely seems a lot faster than.
The only downside to it, I think, was the fact that it was almost too fast. Because, like, I wanted, as we were slowing down to see, like, the different characters and different animals and stuff, I wanted to kind of take that in a little bit more. But it's kind of like, hey, that's really cool. Wait, we're okay, we're gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, felt like it could have probably slowed down just a little bit more around there, but.
Yeah, there's Fluffy. Oh, no, there was Fluffy.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope, there's the car.
I was like, Fluffy!
Yeah, exactly. And then the whole backwards thing and the drop, I'm not trying to spoil anything. Spoil alert, because it's too late for that.
Too late for that. Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it didn't. The whole vertigo thing didn't work on that. I mean, that really triggered everything. So.
Yeah, he was kind of off for the rest of the day.
But now that you know about it, do you think you could ride it again?
Yes. Now that I know what's coming, yes. The problem was I didn't know what was coming, and we were going backwards, and I thought I was going to go right when we went left. And that's what really jacked me up.
Everest kind of does that over at Animal Kingdom too.
Yeah.
When you're in the mountain, you think you're going to go one way, and it kind of curves to the other one real quick.
That's my favorite roller coaster.
And that's when it really jacks me up. So when I got off that ride, I was super dizzy.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, wow, this is not good. So hopefully I can get all that fixed. And the vertigo kicked in again right before we went on Bourne Spectacular. I wasn't feeling all that great. And then they're like, if you have vertigo, don't be part of this. Don't be part of this. Don't be part of it. So waited all the way in line. We were the next ones to go into the theater. And I was like, look, I have vertigo. They're like, nope, don't do this.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, man, I really want to see it. So I bowed out. And they went in and they saw it.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
I hit up on YouTube and I watched it on YouTube.
That's what I did when it first came out.
I was like, wow, that's cool.
I was telling him, and I think because they go back, and I don't want to
Between live and non-live.
Between live and, the screen and stuff like that. But the actor is usually on stage, and you can kind of focus in on him most of the time.
Yeah.
So I think, now that he has a gist of what it's about, if he goes in and just focuses on the thing and not watching the screen kind of
as it spins, that one section where it
And
spins.
that's
I
have
think
motion
he'll be
sickness, so
okay.
like certain rides there I can't do just because of that same reason. But I'm like you, I watched the video, I'm like, okay, I kind of know how to focus. Nothing else. I look at the ceiling. I look at the seat. Just long enough to get my eyes
as
off
long
of it.
as you are like stationary and fixed on something, I think that he'll be okay going in. But with him already not feeling well.
Yeah, from Hagrid's, I was like, there's no way, because I get in there and the room starts spinning. I'm gonna be like, oh.
Exactly.
This whole vertigo thing is a lot like being motion sickness, but 10 times worse, because once it hits,
you're done.
It's like you're done for the rest of the day.
And I know a couple of people. Michelle's one actually that has vertigo. Like she can't eat before we go to the park sometimes if we're going to ride stuff. She has to wait till afterwards because that messes with her vertigo somehow.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow,
That's interesting.
It is weird. Like
maybe it just like flip-flopping in her belly or something like that.
Kind of, but it actually leads to, like, it affects her vertigo somehow and makes her more
susceptible to it.
Yeah, the dizziness, I guess, is what I was looking for.
So we wound up riding Hagrid's, which is awesome. And then Tuesday, a couple days after, we did it on a Saturday. That Tuesday, obviously you'll touch on it a little bit, but there was a small fire that broke out at Hagrid's and shut it down. And I don't know when they're reopening, but I'll let you touch on that. I'm not going to go deep on that.
That works.
Lots of COVID-19 stuff going on. I wish... I wish things were different.
I was watching him waiting for the button to be pushed.
I mean, I wish that all this would just go away. You know what I mean?
Well, they said Orange County is slowly dropping in numbers, though.
I said the numbers have been going down.
Yeah, because I get emails through, obviously, my employer for the county here. So basically, I get those, and it's a lot of the recaps of what they do on every other day.
Sure.
Dimmings is doing live press recordings and stuff.
And I don't know how they do it or whatnot, but they've also been, reporting, and a lot of other people from, other states, because I've been seeing different posts, have you gotten sick when you've gotten, to the parks and stuff like that. And everybody's response is no. So it doesn't seem.
I don't know anybody who's had it.
Yeah, there isn't any
touch
known
to any theme parks. They've
and we're talking about a virus that has a 99.8% recovery rate. Is it really that much of a threat?
No.
I mean,
these parks are the safest place to be.
Correct.
And that's kind of what I wanted to touch on, because the ramifications about all this, perspective-wise, we should be thankful for what we have, right?
Absolutely.
We've got the parks open. We've got avenues to get out there and do stuff.
We went up to Charleston last week and get out of...
Yeah, those pictures threw me off. I was like, wait, I'm supposed to be over on Monday. Where are they out of town for?
Yeah, no, well, the first half of our vacation was Rich and Barb, but then the second half we went up to Charleston because she's never been to Charleston.
Yeah, we did Charleston and a day in Hilton Head.
Yeah, and then for my birthday we went to Hilton Head. Found an awesome tiki bar right on the beach. I was like, just throw me in the corner and just feed me drinks. I'll be fine.
Yeah,
throw peanuts at you.
Yeah. So the COVID-19 continues to impact Central Florida theme parks. A lot of stuff, negative stuff. And like I said before, we should be thankful that we even have what we have. But we knew that COVID-19 was going to affect these parks and affect Central Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And it's difficult because we all know that with the economy being shut down and everything else, that there was going to be ramifications from that. And now we're starting to feel those ramifications. We're starting to feel the effects of stuff.
Visually see it too with the parks.
Yeah, I think initially the surge when they opened up the parks was great and it helped sustain things for a little bit. But now people have been there, done that, and they're still concerned about COVID. The numbers are starting to come down a little bit.
And school started back.
And school started
it
back.
automatically drops in the fall
But
with hours and everything anyway.
Right,
Yes.
and I'm going to touch on some of that for Disney, for, their hours. But the weekends have increased dramatically.
Yeah, there's
like
a lot
the
of people in
crowds.
these parks. I was surprised.
Like during the week, not so much, but on the weekends right now, the
Yeah.
parks are busy.
Well, Universal's got that
Which is a
offer
good
for
thing.
Florida residents.
Right.
So, I mean, it's still going on. Buy a day and get the rest of it basically till the 24th for free.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's packing some locals in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we had some effects from the whole COVID thing. On Sunday, Mears Transportation has announced more layoffs. Quick little tidbit. If you don't know what Mears Transportation is, it's the yellow and black buses. You guys are familiar with it. Mears actually stands for Mickey Ears. Of course, we know that, but I think the majority of the people out there probably don't know that.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah,
From back in the
so-
day, Disney no longer owns Mears. It's now a public.
Independent company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what Mears stands for, is Mickey Ears.
Never realized that. Probably
Yeah.
because I've always known it as a separate company.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Unfortunately,
was in one of my Disney trivia books.
there you go. Unfortunately, it includes Disney Magic Express drivers. 104 workers in the last couple of weeks have been laid off. Additional 75 employees have been laid off throughout July and their corporate offices. And since COVID has started, they've laid off 83% of their 950
Oof.
staff.
Wow.
So, yeah, ouch.
You have to figure a lot of travel, around this time of year is your European countries, Brazilians, and you just don't have any of that right now because there's literally no international traffic
Exactly.
coming in unless
Right.
you're doing it for business.
And these parks are doing okay, but it's all the local traffic
Yes.
for the parks, right?
Yeah.
So the silver lining in all this is that they have reassured everyone who they have laid off that they will be rehired the moment business picks back up,
That's good.
which is awesome. And also, by the way, if we can concentrate on the silver lining, I know I'm going to be talking about some negative stuff here, but if we concentrate on the silver lining about this, jobs are going to be very easy to come by once we're through all this mess.
Yep.
Yes.
Because all the people that have left jobs that are not returning back to jobs, those jobs are going to need new people.
Correct.
So jobs are going to be plentiful when
Yes.
all this opens up, Tanya. So Disney also announces that they are canceling Adventures by Disney trips until October 31st.
Wow.
So we kind of saw that coming, though.
Well, that's when the cruise lines are currently off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Disney, I think, maybe a little bit longer. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, they're going into almost like November, December, but
Universal's announcing temporary closings of Aventura and Sapphire Falls. Dave, you're going to cover that a little bit
yeah, a
more.
little bit more info on it.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. On a more positive note, we took a couple days, went to Charleston, Hilton Head, had a chance to check out Disney Hilton Head Resort. Very nice. Not what she was expecting.
not what I was expecting at all.
I'd like to say it's very similar to Vero in terms of quietness.
Yes, it is very laid back, very, very quiet.
It's got little touches of Disney. Not a lot.
Very
but
subtle hints.
Very
here
subtle.
and there.
Even
Very
less
subtle.
than what Vero has.
See, I've never been to Vero.
Oh,
ones.
okay.
Yeah, so Vero is right on the beach, and it's very laid back. It's very
It's over by Gloria Stefans, and I just butchered her last name, but I know she's got a place over there too.
yeah.
Oh,
resort.
Okay.
Yep. So it's very laid back. I guess if I could give you a description of it, it was a mixture between Vero Beach and
Fort Wilderness.
Fort
almost.
Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah.
it kind of had that feel to it. lots of southern pines, the southern straw on the ground. It was very chill. There wasn't a lot going on.
And they'll be posting pictures on our Facebook page of,
I can't wait to see
the
it.
resort.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. They had a little shop in there, like a little gift store, but they didn't have much there. It was very, basic needs and that's it kind of stuff. So last but not least, Universal has released a limited edition Halloween Horror Nights 2020 face mask. Have you seen this?
I did. Do I have that one?
I know you got a bunch of face masks. Indy's digging into a bag to see if he's got. Oh,
There's Jack.
He's got Jack the Clown.
And just so you know, there are 4 for $20, and it goes to, like, in a sense, charity is what they go to. There's my Slytherin.
Oh, you got Slytherin.
Anybody who ever want to know what house I belong to?
Yeah, shocker, by the way.
I don't know what house I belong to.
I don't know. I think I'm
I
Hufflepuff.
guess I'm gonna have to do a. Is there a test that you
the
can
main
go
one.
and take?
Yeah,
Is there?
Pottermore.
Potter what?
Pottermore.
Pottermore? Okay. Guess we'll have to find out what house I'm on. That would actually be a fun episode. You ask
And I got
Bill
minions.
and I the questions, and we can find out on the podcast what house we belong to.
That would be interesting.
That would be
We
kinda
We
fun.
should visit that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No, that's close as I got.
got one more thing before we shift over to Dave Indy. Not sure if I should say this in front of my wife,
Oh no.
but Disney has announced a new line of Christmas ornaments and magnets. Jungle Cruise. That's it. Yeah, Jungle Cruise themed. The backside of water will be released. I knew I shouldn't have said
You
this.
getting a 3rd Christmas tree, Bill?
You shut your dirty mouth, Mr. Indy. That would be no. Not sure about the release for Walt Disney World, but they're releasing it in Disneyland when it reopens. The ornament set is $39.95, and basically the ornament set is like a couple animals, the dude's climbing up the pole.
They have that out it's in the Christmas store.
Is it? They already have it here?
In Disney Springs.
How exciting.
Yes.
And then the backside of water magnet is $9.99.
I was just thinking some of that. I wonder if you could throw around the tiki bar.
That wouldn't be a stretch. I mean,
No,
it is
fits.
tiki related,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It fits in with the theme.
So we'll have to wait and see. So, yeah, about that.
We need to go to Disney Springs. Yay.
Yeah.
I'll be there next week, and again, like I said, entertaining my daughter and her boyfriend.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dave Indy.
All right, so we're going to run through a little bit of California, obviously Universal here, and then I got a little bit of touching on SeaWorld and Busch Gardens. So for California, if you're out on the West Coast, park is still due to be closed through the 31st, the end of this month. But if you want to go to City Walk, they are running right now, limited times from noon till 8 p.m. Also, I've skipped it, but Beijing is also been officially kind of said by officials over there, set to soft opening and officially opening in spring of 2021. So positive news coming
There you go.
in the theme park world, even though ours is on hold for the 7th park for Epic. At least they're moving forward on opening that one. And I've seen a lot of photos of it, and that's just a beautiful park.
Yeah. Someday
it's gonna
we'll
be-
be able to make it over there.
It's going to be epic.
It
That's
will.
for sure.
See what you did there.
Huh?
I'll give you that one.
Okay, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
We have to humor him once in a while,
That's like throwing the peanuts at him at the tiki
Yeah,
bar.
exactly.
Literally. So, all right, and then over at Studios, Central Park Crepes is now open. They're made to order. I've been told they may be on limited hours until they just get their feet wet on that. And if you need them, they don't have to-go containers there, but you can go to Today Cafe and pick up to-go containers and take them because someone on one of the
Sweet.
sites, that's what they took with them, was the sweet ones with it.
So
But-
this thing's up and running now.
Yep, it's over
So
right in
where
front
is
of La Bamba and where Mel's Diner is.
Okay.
Right
Okay.
there, basically where the stage would always be for like Rock the Universe and things of that
Have you been
nature.
over there yet?
I have not had it. That is something I'm looking for. They got a brisket one. I can't wait to try.
Oh man, you got to report on that, man.
Oh.
You got to go over there, check it out.
I can't wait to try that. Definitely. Jumping over on the Hogsworks Express to Islands.
Well done.
Hagrid's, as we've mentioned, had a small fire backstage when it closed on 8/11, sometime in the afternoon. Still kind of curious, not a lot of details on what this supposedly fire is, to especially keep the ride closed this long.
Yeah. Well, they had to do the investigation, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of get that. Like,
Yeah.
because they don't want another fire breaking out.
Exactly. And I heard rumor it was supposed to be, it could open any day now. Rich posted a photo. I don't know if it was from when you were there or not.
Yeah,
of it running.
that's when we were there. Yeah.
Okay. But as I'll say, I know that it was basically any time after the 16th is what I heard that it could possibly open. Today's 17th. It was showing closed this morning on the app. It's not showing closed anymore on the app, and I wasn't able to get in touch with anybody that I have there to basically confirm yay or nay. But prior, they'd already told me the minute they know anything on opening, they're going to let me know.
Sure.
On that one.
And truth be told, Hagrid's really hasn't had a wonderful track record as far as maintaining the ride. I mean, it keeps breaking down left and right.
Well, the issue in the beginning was they were running it before the park opened all the way till after the park closed and didn't have the proper maintenance time. So then that's when they had to basically, and they didn't really get a soft opening either. I mean, it went from delays to officially open to running it hardcore. And then basically that's when they started having to be like, okay, it's closed in the morning so we can do maintenance. And then it's slowly getting its feet wet to where.
So we all know what happened there. They're like, the ride's not ready, but we need to have this thing open. Let's do this.
Exactly.
Right. So when Rich and Barb were here, I explained to them, I said, look, we're going to try to do Hagrid's, but don't get your hopes up because Hagrid's is known for breaking down a lot.
Yeah.
So when we were there, we got in line and we were all the way through the line. I'm like, please do not break down. We just want to get this done and over with. And then we were able to ride it. And then all of a sudden this fire breaks out. I was just like, and even Rich said on Facebook, he was just like, oh my God, thank God we got on it.
Exactly. When my daughter and her boyfriend coming down, they're both big Harry Potter fans. He's never been to Universal, and that's like one of the things that he's excited to try to ride.
Is Hagrid's?
So we're going at least 2 days to the parks while they're here. So hopefully by then, sometime starting on next Tuesday, it'll hopefully be open by then. I don't see why any reason they couldn't unless they actually find something from their investigations for the backstage fire. And I'd love to see an aerial photo from one of these other theme park sites.
Yeah, but I heard it was very small. I heard it wasn't a big fire at all.
Well, or if it was really downplayed.
Yeah, well, that's true. It could have been that too, right?
Something electrical may damaged scene or props or something. I know issues they had during testing.
Sure.
From people as well. So be curious to know. But on the moving closed stuff, as we talked about, Aventura and Sapphire Falls closing as of 8/21. Anyone who had hotel stays. Yeah, I know you and your Sapphire.
I love Sapphire Falls Hotel.
Yeah, as I say, but something I was reading today basically said those are the two, and they're beautiful hotels. I love Aventura. The bar, the bistro, 17 on the roof, that is phenomenal views.
Yeah, we've been up there. It's pretty badass.
And but those are big go-to hotels for Halloween Horror Nights, and if it's not going on and they're not already meeting occupancy levels at the other ones, why not consolidate? So I get from a logical standpoint why they're doing it, and they have one in each, still their version of classification. They have the premier, the premium, and the value hotels.
And that's not really up to Universal, is it? Because it's a Lowe's run hotel.
It's a contract obligation. So like if you book a hotel stay through Universal or something like a vacation package hotel only, technically you are Universal's, I don't want to say property, but you belong to Universal until you physically check in. Once you check in the hotel, you're now a Lowe's guest. And that's how it was always. So like when I had to handle issues, pre-travel, you belong to me. Check-in and post-travel, you got to go to the front desk or you got to take it up with the hotel or Lowe's in general, because at that point you became theirs on it. But there's a lot of like pricing and things like that when people complain there's not enough annual pricing and stuff. Well, that's contract obligations on a lot of that. But the good thing is if you're staying at Sapphire, they're moving you to Hard Rock and Royal and pretty much matching the room rates, which you're in a sense getting now express for free. Because those come with those hotels.
Right.
So you're technically getting a benefit from that. If you were at Aventura, then they're moving you over to Cabana Bay Hotel. And if you have at least 2 nights or more, you get a $50 food credit for that. I don't know when that promotion technically ends on that one, And then if you go to Endless Summer for Surfside, because Dockside's technically built, they just never got to open it in March. So it's a brand new hotel just
Yeah, why would they
sitting
open
there.
it right now, though? It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to do
And
that.
especially if they're closing the other ones. But
Right.
Surfside's usually a little bit less expensive, so obviously you probably get a credit in regards to that one as well. So definitely, I feel for the people. I know they've been busy with holds over an hour when this first got announced. Back-to-back phone calls at the call center.
Could you imagine being in one of those hotels and then being told you have to go to a different hotel and
Hopefully that's
move
what they're
all the
telling
stuff?
them. Well, I mean, it's not until 8/21. So if you've already got a hotel stay, it's the people that are still coming in. When's that start? Today's what, the
17th? I think.
So Friday is that?
Yeah.
Friday's when it goes into effect. I'd be more worried about the employees. Are they going to be furloughed? Are they giving them opportunities to work elsewhere?
Yeah, that's a great question. We don't know, right? So, I mean, if the hotel is not going to be open, why pay the employees?
And they're Lowe's employees, not really Universal's at that
Right.
point. I mean,
So, and that all goes to what we talked about with the whole COVID thing,
Yep.
like everything is impacted. Everything.
exactly.
So,
Kind of like Cabana Bay. If you were being moved over at Cabana Bay, like we were discussing earlier, their courtyard poolside, which is the one with the slide, the other one has the lazy river, but the courtyard which has the outdoor doors. If you've ever stayed at the hotel, half of it's got interior corridors, half of it has exterior for that hotel, and the exterior ones has the pool and the Atomic Bar, which is temporarily closed during the week, and on weekends it's only open. But you can still go over to Hideaway Bar and stuff over where the Lazy River is, which a lot of people love that hotel. I'd preferred them to kept Aventura personally open over that, but I guess from a price point and activity wise, because it's got the bowling alley, it's got the gym for people to do
Right.
at Cabana Bay
right.
on that one. And then if anybody has the exclusive vacation packages, and if they don't know what that is, that's the Potter themed ones where you usually get the breakfast included at Three Broomsticks. Because of park hours currently in place, Three Broomsticks isn't doing breakfast, so those vouchers could be used for lunch or dinner at Three Broomsticks or Leaky Cauldron for people to take advantage of,
Nice.
which I think is really good.
Yeah, I think that's a cool move.
Now, do they still get early access to
They
the park?
Still early.
Okay.
All hotels on Universal get early access. Only select ones have the Express Pass,
Right.
which is Portofino, which is yet to still open. And I'm hearing rumors that maybe September still as an opening date,
Okay.
which I could see them rotating hotels in and out, other than maybe Hard Rock. I don't know. But rotating them so each one basically doesn't go stale and they're always staying fresh.
Sure.
So, but yeah, so Royal is currently and Hard Rock are the two right now that
Right.
you're only getting Express since
I was
Portofino's
to say
closed.
your deluxe room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I've stayed pretty much at all three of them. They're great, and I'm missing Sal's Pizza over at Portofino really bad.
Yes.
That's some great pizza. Along with that, for annual pass holders, any pass holder, from what I understand right now, you'll be getting exclusive, unique emails with unique codes, basically to try Precock Premium, basically for a 90-day trial. That offer expires on the 15th of October, so keep checking your email. Make sure your emails are updated if you're part of an annual pass holder, because there were so
Yeah.
many people that did not have current emails when I worked there. That were outdated by years. Yeah. That was always fun. I never got
It's
the
funny,
email.
no matter how many times I update my address and email address, it always seems to revert back to old ones, and I don't know why. It's crazy.
I don't know Disney's system, but I know Disney has like 18 million systems for
Yeah.
everything, so they probably somewhere one of them's not talking to the other. For Universal, we basically had one main system. You just had to make sure you went into two different directions to make sure it was always done. You had the one that was the selling system, and then the one that kept the information. And if one
Okay.
there was a chance it would not revert, or if you didn't delete the old one properly,
It would
always
divert back to-
revert back. So that
Gotcha.
was always the issue. And then other than that, Premier annual pass holders, a lot of them were complaining because obviously they don't have valet right now.
Nope.
They don't have Halloween Horror Nights, so they
Right.
were feeling gypped in regards to everything. So Universal currently, now through September 30th, if you have the Express After 4, which is one time per participating attraction, you get to use it as of 2 o'clock in the afternoon as a benefit, as well as they're giving you a free ticket to bring a friend or a family member for a park to park for the dry parks over, and that's anytime between the 17th of this month through the 24th of December.
Oh, wow.
And that's even if you haven't bought an annual pass and you were on the fence of buying one. Up until basically November 2nd, that offer stands. After that, they're not going to allow you to get the free ticket, but that's definitely something to look into taking advantage of.
And that's for premier
Yeah,
passes.
the premier, the top line for Universal on that
And
one.
just to clarify, for those listening, when you say dry parks, you're talking about the actual theme parks,
Yeah,
not
because it's a
Not
3-park
Volcano
destination.
Bay,
So
right.
Volcano, yeah. So
Volcano Bay would be a wet
park.
park.
Yeah.
Okay, so
because it
just so we
is-
can clear that up. So maybe because there's some people that are like, "What the hell is a dry park?" You know what I
Well,
mean?
in
You
some
get the point.
areas of the country, a dry park is not
No
selling
alcohol.
alcohol. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Oh,
So-
no, they sell the alcohol. but Island or Volcano Bay is considered Volcano a theme water park.
Wet park. Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's referred to like when we would sell stuff. Look, your express passes and stuff are good for the 2 dry parks, islands and studios.
And this is something we're going to talk about in a future podcast because I want to hit on this a little bit
Terminology.
more. No, not terminology, but the whole expectation of what these parks are supposed to be giving us because we have an annual pass.
Oh, don't get me going there.
Bro, it's getting really, really bad, and I think we need to
yeah,
address
the
it.
sense of entitlement is certainly
It's horrible right
escalating,
now.
and they really don't have to do anything above and beyond the park ticket and the parking.
Ding.
essentially.
So,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
okay, we've bought into your park with your annual passes. You're not shareholders per se, but you have an annual pass that allows you the privilege of going when you want to go.
At usually a highly discounted rate versus what you would pay.
Right. So
Exactly.
you're already getting something in return. But the fact that all these people, especially on the Disney side, don't even get me started, bro. They have this sense of entitlement, like because I'm an annual pass holder and I've given you $800 a year or whatever, I expect you to do all this stuff for me. And that's something we're going to talk on in a future podcast because this get really
Hotel-
bad.
I think
Yeah.
hotel discounts was always the biggest battle. How many people? I don't know how many times I heard, I bought this annual pass for the hotel discount. Really? Not to go to the theme parks?
Right, because you're getting like maybe 20%, if that,
Not
10%.
really.
Up to 35%,
Which
depending on
for
you know,
Universal?
What, yeah.
Right, but a mug is $15.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting 30% off of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
come
and
on.
then for Universal, though, just if you're a Florida resident, 99.9% of the time, Florida and annual pass are the same rate. Because not every Florida resident's an annual pass holder and vice versa.
Right.
So they
Yeah.
always pretty much were the
Yeah.
same rate.
We'll touch on that in a future podcast.
Definitely. And then just jumping over to the neighborly parks, even though you're getting on Disney side, SeaWorld. Cool event going on there for us alcoholics. I mean, people that
Awkward.
enjoy our spirits. SeaWorld's got their craft beer festival going on right now on the weekends through September 20th. They got more than 100 craft beers, 20 select food items to pair with the beers, and you can purchase a tasting lanyard valid for up to 18 tasting stations. So I'm kind of curious on that one. Some of them are local Florida, so definitely in a sense, I'm glad to see SeaWorld still doing something to kind of support local businesses.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially with the bars closed, at least somewhere alcohol's kind of getting served.
Yes, you know, this one's kind of lost on me. And I mean, I would definitely go for the food, but I don't drink beer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
Yeah, but they still have
well,
bars that serve alcohol, right?
Restaurants, but they can't have, usually their bar sales really can't be that much more than food. It's kind of how I was
Yeah.
last informed, that how they're watching these places to see
Yes.
who's really just serving alcohol and who's serving food.
And it's interesting you should touch on that because the interview this week that we have for Random Topic, I had a chance to interview my buddy Rich from Arizona, and he touches on that a little bit in the interview, and I'll play that a little bit later on. It's very good. It was a great interview. Probably should have teased it in the beginning of the podcast a little bit, but we do have a special guest joining us a little bit later on in the podcast, Rich Ballent from Arizona. He's a good friend of mine, and we had a chance to sit down. And it was a very informal interview.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Very Joe Rogan-ish. You know, just kind of, if that is a thing. I don't even know if that's a thing.
It is
but,
now, supposedly.
Right,
Yeah.
apparently.
But it was just a laid-back conversation. It was really cool. So he touches on the whole
The bars
liquor
and
license
food,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. So it's very cool.
Well,
so,
I know some of the bars here went out and bought air fryers to get around that loophole.
interesting.
It was. But to finish up on SeaWorld before jumping to their sister park, SeaWorld's actually doing their Halloween spectacular or spooktacular event, which is part of daytime admission. It's included, starting 9/19 through 11/1. Children 12 and under can wear masks, dress up in costumes. 13 and up can no mask or no hoods. Face painting is not allowed unless it's done in the park. And they actually have vacation packages because they partner with the local hotels in that area, starting as low as $35 a person.
Nice.
And this one, I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out, and I'm sure everybody is. Busch Gardens is officially doing Howl-O-Scream this year in a modified version.
That's
Good for
awesome.
them.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
I mean, there has to be something, right? There has to be something offered.
I mean, we're supposedly getting the drive-through one here, haunted house that's coming and stuff. I'm following that on Facebook.
Well, that's a very good move because with Halloween Horror Nights not going on, they're going to get all the love.
Or Mickey's Not So
Yeah.
Scary Halloween Party.
And I don't know if they're
Two
going to
big boys.
do Legoland's going to do their Brick or Treat or something like that every
They
year.
might, considering they're not even requiring masks in their park. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think, well, initially they weren't. I don't know if they are now. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Definitely, but they're doing 18 nights for Howl-O-Scream. It's Friday through Sundays, 9/25 through 11/1. Prices $30 up to about $45 a person. How they're doing it is no actual houses. They're doing open air scare zones, which I
Okay.
think is kind of cool, and the
works.
price kind of matches. I mean, they're usually fairly cheap anyways to begin with, and they will have an outdoor show that's in their concert little area with select distance seating and stuff for social distancing.
Okay.
It's called the Fiend Show. They're bringing back. I guess it's a very popular show. I should probably go on YouTube and see if I can find past ones to see. I'm just still all upset since I don't have my Bill and Ted show in the last couple of years. I still get memories that pop up. I saw the very.
Poor Andy.
I got home at 6:00 in the morning because I got to not only see the very last one, but it was the employee one with time change when it happened.
Oh wow.
So I saw the show at like 4:00 in the morning.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it went well over an hour, but it was so good. And I was looking forward to hopefully seeing them sneak it back in this year. But that's what I got for all the parks. And
All right. Thank you, Mr. Indy. We greatly appreciate it.
Of course.
Now, Miss Tanya.
Okay.
Please stand clear of the doors.
Yeah, because they might open.
Aw. Not cool, Andy. Not cool.
They did in the past.
Miss Tanya's going to talk about some Disney stuff.
Yes. All right. So the biggest thing that seemed to pop up this week was new cuts to Walt Disney World park hours. Starting September 8th, park hours will change for the fall, and these times are until October 31st. So Magic Kingdom is currently 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and it is going to 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it's closing an hour earlier. Animal Kingdom is currently 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and is going to go to 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Epcot is currently 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and is going to go to 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And Hollywood Studios is currently 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and it's going to go now on September 8th to 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So give or take an hour or two.
Epcot's the biggest one.
Right.
Since
Yeah.
it has always been 9 to 9.
Yes. So really not too much of a surprise that September is always the slowest month of the year at Walt Disney World, and with the Halloween party canceled, and October is usually a special events and school breaks. Those events aren't happening, and school breaks are kind of up in the air as to what's going to be going on with those, since a lot of everybody is. Some schools are back. Some people are doing. I mean, every state is
Virtual,
doing something different. So.
Yeah, it's almost hard to keep track.
The watch and wait game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So while
Everything will be taken care of November 4th. So.
There you go. So while I don't have a problem with the cutbacks, none of the parks are going to be open after sundown, meaning you're at the parks during the hottest parts of the day. We all know in Florida that September and October are still really, really, really hot.
Yes.
Ridiculous, bro.
So, at least for a lot of the locals, they would go in the evening hours. They wait until the sun goes down. You can enjoy more of the time in the parks. But with the hours changing September 8th, you're now kind of forced to be there during the day.
The hottest part of the day.
Part of the day.
Yeah.
Drives you to-
Reinforces which reinforces the whole drinking of the hydration and drinking
Yeah.
of the water, because it's going to be 10 times more important now.
Yeah. And it also forces people now in the evenings to go to Disney Springs if they're, staying at the hotels or anything like that. And over the past few weeks, attendance at Disney Springs, the crowds have gotten a lot more. And I'm hearing a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, we're not going because the crowds are so, much more at Disney
Good.
Springs
Stay
and
away
everything."
next week and we're on there.
You know,
just
it's
a
like
heads up.
there's only so much to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's not a lot that you can do Disney-wise that is free.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there miniature golf courses open at Disney?
They
right now?
are.
Okay.
Yes.
They are now. They weren't before.
Yeah.
I know the one at City Walk, so I was just curious.
Yeah. No, those are.
Anything on what they're doing for the Epcot After 4 pass that Disney offers if they're closing early?
They're actually doing the same type of thing. They are going to be allowing that at 2 p.m.
Oh, very cool.
It's moving from 4 p.m. to 2 p.m. for.
We're all watching the cats.
Like, what are we watching here, folks?
Let's continue with the podcast. Let's stop looking at the cats hunting a squirrel. Everything went dead silent just then because the cats are hunting a squirrel, and all three of us turned and looked at the same time, and then the podcast just came to a screeching halt.
Well, I saw the two guys turn, and I'm like, what are they all staring at?
Well, the one
So-
Simba staring up, and then Conan had to go over, and then that got my attention. I'm staring up to see what it is.
And then that got my attention, so I'm staring, and then now all of a
That
sudden
got my
you are.
attention, and there we go. We're
Yeah.
at a stalemate.
And the podcast is dead. Wheels are falling off here, people.
So,
Sorry.
yes, if you do have the Epcot after 4 o'clock pass, it's moving to 2 hours earlier. It's going from 2 p.m. until, whatever. So, yeah, I know. Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, the other downside to this is the perceived value of a vacation to Walt Disney World, especially for people that have trips booked for later in the year. Now, they haven't come out and said what the hours are going to be after October 31st. There has been no word yet as to whether the Christmas party has been canceled.
I
We're
think it
still-
has.
I thought I heard it had too.
Oh, really?
could have sworn
okay.
they're done.
Because everything
Yeah.
I've read has been like no official answer has been given yet.
We'll have to
so.
look that up, but I think the Christmas party. I know the Halloween party's killed, but I
Well,
think the
yeah.
Christmas party is too.
No, I think it got announced. They kind of slipped it under the radar, though.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
very
okay.
low key. It wasn't a big
Yeah.
announcement.
Okay. So those people that are, seeing the Quebecers and the hours as, now even more of a, perceived less value because there's no fireworks, there's no parades, blah, 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 blah. So that might affect Disney World's occupancy here a little bit forward, at least until the end of the year. But
Right. It's like the Vegas
see.
effect, right? Because
yeah.
Vegas might be open, but no shows, no buffets, no anything. So why even go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
So
this kind of ties into my next topic is the quarantine news. So on the positive side, visitors from the tri-state area, so that's New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, no longer have to self-quarantine for 14 days when arriving to Florida. However,
here they come, bro. Here they come.
hang on to your seats
Oh,
because
no.
this is
If
crazy.
it's what I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. So going back to those states, as well as 11 other states, Chicago and the DC area are all required to self-quarantine for 14 days and have penalties in place for not following the guidelines. Depending on the state, penalties could be fined anywhere from $100 to $2,000 and or jail time up to 6 months.
Jesus, bro.
I know. So, for example, visitors traveling from viral hotspot states. So this does not pertain just to Florida. This is for states that have a higher percentage of, so Las Vegas, New Orleans, et cetera, et cetera. So all
Right.
your
Places with the
hotspots
potential
right now.
of right. I get it.
Must fill out a form that state officials are using to ensure that they are self-quarantining for 14 days. failure to fill out the form before leaving the airport will result in a $2,000 fine and mandatory quarantine.
Ouch.
Airlines are providing the forms, and officials are stationed at the gates to request proof of the form's completion. People arriving by bus, train, or car are required to fill out the form online. Not really quite sure how they're going to enforce that, but
We'll see.
yeah. Chicago is having travelers from 15 states for a 14-day period. They're self-quarantining for a 14-day period. Violators are subject to fines of $100 to $500 a day, up to $7,000.
Jesus.
Ouch.
And you have the DC area, Rhode Island, Kansas, Maine, Massachusetts, New Mexico, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Kentucky, Alaska, and Hawaii all have some similar guidelines in place, and or you need to show proof of a negative test to avoid the 14-day quarantine period. So, interesting.
Insert awkwardness here.
Yeah. So there's really not much of an enticement. While Florida has lifted their traveling quarantines to the state itself, obviously states that you're going back to
Are going to have
is
issues.
a totally different story.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, flipping it.
Some other things here that we've learned over the past few days. Over at Disney Springs, the Patina Restaurant Group of restaurants have reopened. This includes the Edison, Mario and Enzo's, and Enzo's Hideaway.
Yes.
Yay! I'm so excited. I love Enzo's Hideaway.
Never been
for
to it.
those of you.
Man, you
It's
got to
so
go. It's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Enzo Hideaway is very, very cool. It's like a speakeasy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely have
it's
always wanted to
badass.
go there, but then everything happened.
Yeah, I
it's
get it.
very cool atmosphere. And they're all opening at 5 p.m. daily.
Great.
At Epcot, they kind of I don't want to say undermined the importance of it, but it was kind of a quiet reveal. The iconic prismatic pylons have returned to the fountain in front of Spaceship Earth.
I'm excited about that.
I know. So anyone
That
who
should be cool.
remembers going to Epcot back when Epcot first opened back in 1982, if you look back at your pictures, you probably have pictures of these pylons in front of Spaceship Earth.
Hashtag old.
So I'm very excited, very nostalgic. So I'm very looking forward to this, return and being able to go and see it. And last but not least, it appears that the actors' union standoff has ended.
Yeah.
I know. So this announcement came on the same day that Walt Disney World announced that there will be public testing site at the Main Gate Complex, which is near Animal Kingdom. This was made available to all Walt Disney World employees and their families, and is now also available to the public. Though there is a dedicated line for Walt Disney World employees and their families to go through. No announcement has been made as to when shows or actors may be coming back to work, but we can only speculate that it may not be until 2021, but we will just have to kind of wait and see.
Yeah, I think a lot of things are not coming back till 2021. So.
Yeah, but
All right, thank you, Miss Tanya. There's your Disney news.
yes.
So, as previously stated, we had a friend of ours, Rich and Barb, come into town and stay with us from Arizona.
Such an awesome time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We loved having him here. It was really, really good, both of them. I had a rare opportunity to sit down with Rich, the original OG from back in the day.
Yes, if walls could talk.
Yeah, well, he's my best friend because he knows too much. I'd have to kill him. So, or he would be suicided. So we sat down at Tiki Bar, had a conversation. Yeah, I know. For those of you who don't know Rich, he's has some very strong ties in Central Florida. He's a Full Sail graduate, previously employed in both Universal and Disney. Him and his wife, Barb, are strong supporters of the show, all the way in Arizona. So
Woo-hoo.
this show reaches the desert, so to speak.
We appreciate the love out there.
Absolutely. They were both part of the Wild Horse Saloon gang back in the day at Pleasure Island, which was a Tuesday.
I feel so left out.
Yeah, well, you know.
I'm like the only one that hasn't worked there.
Well, you're associated with the cool kids. You may not be the cool kids, but you're associated.
We let her sit at the table.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks.
You have upgraded from the child table.
I did go to Wild Horse Saloon and drink, so I there was that.
There was that. They know you, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, they remember you. So I think Barb did.
Yeah.
So when we had a conversation about you, but don't worry, we said good things.
I was a staple in that place. Like I said, I was there so often that I actually was offered a job.
Yes, you were, actually. So Dave did work at the Wild Horse Saloon retail store.
Yep.
For a little while there. Awesome story. Rich and Barb actually met while working
Say that
at
3 times
Wild
fast.
Horse Saloon.
She was a server, I remember.
Yeah, they actually met and fell in love there. 20 years later, they're still married. So big deal there, which was a very, very cool story. But this is my best friend, Rich Ballent. Let's give a listen. We have got a special treat for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Disney and Universal podcast extraordinaire, if you will. Otherwise known as my best friend, Rich Ballent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Rich Ballent to the show.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rich is a good friend of mine. We go back like rocking chairs.
High school.
High school, right?
High school.
Rich is a good friend of the show. He's out in Arizona, right?
Big fan. Big fan.
Live in the studio.
Representing at the Tiki Bar.
That's right.
Arizona in the house.
We broke this tiki bar in well.
We did.
We did.
Initiated it properly.
Indeed. And of course we're accompanied by Chief Kamana Wanalea.
The new Tiki mascot, if you will.
That's right. He's going to be the one proceeding over the tiki bar from here on out.
He fits well.
He does fit well, and I thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Rich has been staying with us the last couple of days. We've been tearing it up here in Central Florida. But you've got some history in Central Florida, Bubba.
That I do.
And that's why we are interviewing you for the podcast, because Rich, for those who don't know, is one of the sole reasons why I came to Central Florida as Kona joins the podcast. Hello, sir. Rich has been a staple here in Central Florida for quite a long time and then moved out to Arizona. A Full Sail graduate.
Yes.
What was your major at Full Sail?
I have an Associate's of Science in Recording Arts.
Science and Recording Arts. Check, baby, 1, 2.
1, 2.
Siblings.
Siblings.
That's awesome. As you know, Full Sail has become a major force in Central Florida. They certainly have grown since you've been here.
They have at least quadrupled in size.
When did you actually move down to Florida?
It was April 96.
April 96.
Yep.
Okay. And was it the sole purpose of going to Full Sail?
Yep. I moved down to the Central Florida area specifically to go to school at Full Sail.
Were you living on campus? They didn't have on-campus housing back then.
No, there was no on-campus. There was quite a few apartment complexes that were Full Sail friendly, if you will. You know, some places that they sort of recommended that you stay. I chose not to stay as close as a lot of the others, but because I knew I was going to have my car with me and everything. So still 5 minutes from school.
Yeah. Awesome. And so you worked for Disney and Universal.
I worked on Disney property, and I worked inside Universal's Islands of Adventure.
Okay. And that was when it was just kind of firing off, right?
It was maybe 2 years opening-ish, right around there. It was,
Okay.
Still pretty new.
Right. So at Disney, what did you do at Disney?
I originally started working at Planet Hollywood. Got a job while I was in school, and I got a job at Planet Hollywood.
Now, for those of you who remember Planet Hollywood, the same Planet Hollywood that was in downtown Disney, right?
Right.
Because back when we were rolling hard in Central Florida, it was downtown Disney.
Yes, it was originally called Downtown Disney, yeah.
Pleasure Island, right?
Pleasure Island was the club district, if you will, of Disney World.
Yeah. And that was a pretty big deal back then. You remember, right? Like Pleasure Island used to be like the place to go.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we frequented the Pleasure Island quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we certainly did. And we made a lot of friends and a lot of memories out there.
Indeed.
Right? The comedy club. You remember the comedy club?
I used to love the comedy club. I don't remember the name off the top of my head.
That's a great question.
It was an improv club.
It was an improv club.
Yeah, they did improv.
Oh, what was the name of that? We'll have to look it up.
Gotta look it up.
8 Tracks. You remember 8 Tracks, right?
8 Tracks was the 70s and 80s club.
Yeah, it was like a disco kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? And the Adventures Club with all the stuff.
That was probably my least favorite.
The Adventures Club was?
Yeah, I never got into it.
You know, a lot of their merch that they had in Adventures Club is now in Hangar.
Yes, actually, I think I did read that.
Yeah, which is cool. Sequoia is out now.
My favorite club on Pleasure Island was probably the Rock and Roll Beach Club.
Rock and Roll Beach Club.
Big fan of the Rock and Roll Beach Club.
Yeah, that was badass. Barb, you want to jump on the podcast? No, I'm good. Do you remember what the comedy club was at Pleasure Island? Rich's wife's Barb has semi-joined the podcast. She is also a major player in the Disney world. We all used to work together at Wild Horse. Well, there's this thing called Google, being that you're the only one who's got the phone.
Fact checker.
I want to say it was like the Laugh Factory or something.
I think you might be right.
You remember that comedy club that was downtown, in like the downtown area? It was like 3 letters, like
Wasn't that
SAP or something like that.
Wasn't that an improv club too?
Yeah, but it was more like for the UCF college students. You remember that?
Improv was huge back then.
Yeah,
I mean,
remember it was like SAP or something like that. It was
You
downtown.
could actually take classes.
Yeah.
You can take improv
Yeah.
classes out there, yeah?
Yeah, I don't think they're there anymore. You wouldn't even recognize the downtown area, bro. We didn't even get a chance to go down there. You wouldn't even recognize it. It's crazy.
Was it the Adventures Club?
No, it was the comedy club. Barb's looking it up for us. And then, of course, we had the Wild Horse Saloon, which we all worked at.
Yep.
That was fun.
Which originally was called?
The Fireworks Factory.
Yes, it was.
Now, the Fireworks Factory had the same kind of setup,
Yep.
and they just remodeled the Wild Horse Saloon, right?
Right.
So those who aren't privy to our information, that whole Disney Springs used to be downtown Disney and Pleasure Island, and that was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? That
Yep.
we all kind of did. And that's where you met your wife, Barb.
Yep. We met at the Wild Horse Saloon.
Yeah, and then fireworks happened, pun intended,
True.
right? And then you guys left Central Florida, moved out to Arizona.
Yep.
And it's been so awesome to have you guys here just hanging out with us. We don't get a chance to do this much often. So
Not often enough.
I know, and that's the reason why I wanted to kind of do this podcast and kind of do this interview with you. We usually hold official interviews, but being that you're like my best friend, we're just going to kind of roll with it. So we had some Disney experience, and then how did you get involved with Islands of Adventure?
You know what? Honestly, I think it was just a bartending seasonal gig. I was looking to pick up a couple of extra bucks, and they just had an opening that I got placed. I mean, obviously, you just get hired as a bartender inside the park, and then they place you wherever they need you.
Wherever
you
they
get to pick
need
and
you,
choose where
right.
you get to go. For me, they ended up choosing Jurassic Park, and then in Jurassic Park, I worked at the watering hole.
Now, if you remember, the location of that is just when you're leaving Harry Potter and you're walking towards Jurassic Park. It's that first place on the left.
Right past the big Jurassic Park gate, if you will, on the left-hand side. Right before the Burger Digs.
Okay.
Because the Burger Digs would actually be my office. That's where I went to go get the money and whatnot in the morning and drop my cash and take my lunch and take breaks and etc.
Really? Was that Burger Digs?
Yep,
I
that was
didn't know
Burger
that.
Digs, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot here with Sequoias in the background here. What was your favorite memory of the Adventurers Club? The Adventurers Club was next to it.
Yep.
I don't know. That's the only thing that keeps coming.
You know what? The Laugh Factory sounds right.
That's it. Adventures Club is the only one that keeps
Is there a list of all the clubs that were there?
No.
If you Google Pleasure Island, you might be able to get that.
All right, I'll keep it.
Thank you, Barb. Barb is our correspondent going through our news areas.
Or reporter in the field, if you will.
Yes, that's right. She won't report live, but she'll give us the info. So what was your best memory at Watering Hole?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if I say best memory. You know what? It was a fun gig. It wasn't necessarily like I made a lot of money. I did fairly well, especially for a bartender inside of a theme park.
Yeah.
But it was sheer volume. It was complete just
Go.
from the second you opened up the window to the second you left for your break or closed down or whatever. Wasn't a hard job, really. I mean, I hate to say it, but any monkey could have done that bartending job. You really don't need any sort of bartending experience. I walked home with bags full of change every night.
I do remember that. Bags of change.
Lots of change. It wasn't necessarily like, here's a $5 tip for my $50 drink order. It was, keep the change off of my $12.
Right.
So
I am sure, I'm almost positive that you have seen some crazy stuff while you were working there.
You know what, thinking back, it wasn't a big surprise how they did it, but how super strict Universal was as far as their liquor licenses and carding minors and being involved in all that kind of stuff. There was a lot of codes that we used, over our headphones and
Really?
Our speakers about an intoxicated person, or if somebody, changed their name, so to speak, they
From Bill to Ralph.
I think we referred to that as a protein spill. If I remember right.
Break out the Vauban.
But
What?
Says Comedy Warehouse.
Comedy Warehouse. That's right.
That's the one.
And you remember you had to walk down the stairs to get into your seats, and there was
Yep.
like 4 of them on the stage, and then they would just go back and forth.
And they would call out suggestions. And
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Comedy Warehouse. Thanks, Barb.
That was the one.
So they were pretty. So you had like all different codes that you would call over the radio, like similar to what would happen at Disneyland, right?
Sure, I would guess, yeah. They constantly sent plants, I guess you would say. Shoppers to go ahead and make sure that they get carded. And if the person was underage and you didn't get carded, the management would come right around and you would get fired immediately. Immediately, within
Like
minutes.
no 3 strikes, like
Nope.
done.
It happened when I was working. I had somebody come up, and the person I was working with didn't card somebody, and they immediately came back around and said, "You didn't card this person, you're done."
Wow.
Immediately left in the middle of a shift. I had to finish the shift by myself.
And that place was crazy. I mean, we went there yesterday,
Yeah.
right? Because we went to Universal Studios.
There was
yesterday.
rarely less than, I want to say, 10, 15 people in line.
And they just left you hanging with one person on the shift?
That's it. I think eventually towards the end they sent one of the managers down to help me get the money order all together and all that kind of stuff. But
Wow.
yeah, basically I worked the rest of the shift by myself.
That's got to
I
suck.
remember always hearing that they said there was one liquor license for each park. So that's why they were so
So if they
strict.
lost the liquor license, they would have to lose the entire park.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. You lots of fond memories in Central Florida, right?
Yes, I was recently reminded that I hated it, but now looking back, I don't remember being upset or mad about it. I remember having a lot of good memories. I mean, the bonuses of working inside of a theme park were always nice. Discounts on food and merch, and
Yep.
I mean, Universal. I got into both Universal parks for free.
Sweet.
SeaWorld Orlando for free, and Busch Gardens Tampa Bay for free.
That doesn't suck.
No, I got into all those parks, plus a free pass for Universal for a guest, like once a month, and then there was always all sorts of extra bonuses and freebies that they gave me.
And back then, we're talking like late 90s.
Yeah.
There used to be a lot of that juice that they would give to the employees.
Yep. Yeah, that was 99, 2000, probably right
Yeah,
around there.
man.
I remember
Awesome.
working at Universal for Y2K, for the big 2000
Oh, God, here
fireworks.
we go. Yeah, I remember where they thought everything was going to shut down.
Yep. I remember just
That myth
sitting there.
legend.
They closed the park, and then they had it open for like a special event for the fireworks thing and stuff like that. So
My Central Florida career got started when I was obviously with the Wild Horse Saloon, and then we moved. I worked security for Universal. We had talked about that in the past, but lots of adventures with you in Central Florida. We
absolutely.
downtown and going to the theme parks. Rich and I would go to a theme park, ride one ride, and then bail.
I could probably say that's one of my favorite memories. I remember telling people, back home and just saying that. I remember people saving up years to take their family to Disney, and Bill and I would be off on a Tuesday night and say, "Yeah, you want to go watch some fireworks? Yep, let's go." An hour before the park closed, we ride up, go to Epcot and get a margarita in Mexico, watch fireworks, and go home.
Yeah, and then we would do that so often that we knew exactly when the fireworks were going to go off. So we're sitting there singing to the music, and we're like, "Ew, da, 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 da," a little phantasmic.
Yep.
Da, 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 da.
That was, getting into SeaWorld for free and just, I'd go watch, I know it's controversial right now, but going to watch Shamu and stuff,
Yeah.
watch a Shamu show, and I'd, spend the $5 and go feed the dolphins really quick, go watch a Shamu show, do my Budweiser beer school, get in a couple of free beers.
That's right.
And go home.
We were multi-graduates from the Budweiser Beer School.
Multi-times.
Yes, that's right. VIPs. We're in the Budweiser Hall of Fame.
The elite of the elite, if you will.
Well, don't hate us because we're beautiful. You know
Top
what I
Gun.
mean?
Top Gun, you might say.
You're on my left side, a little low. So, out of all your Central Florida memories, which theme park did you prefer the most?
You know what? It's I love Disney. I do, and I'll go to Disney a million times. But I was always a little bit more of a Universal guy.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah,
You always liked Universal.
probably the I loved Islands of Adventure. But I went to the studios a lot.
Yeah.
When I worked there, it was after I got done with work. It was pretty common for me to go to my wardrobe and get changed, and then walk back through go to the Irish bar, get a little beer and ride the Men in Black, single riders line for myself real quick.
There you go, buddy. There you go.
Try and top my score, but it's I did. I loved it all. I love the theme parks. I don't think I'll ever grow out of theme parks.
So now that you live in Arizona, you're a little closer to the Disneyland,
Disneyland,
right?
we have gone to quite a few times, yeah.
Okay. So what is your favorite ride in Disneyland?
Disney Guardians of the Galaxy
As Barb chimes in.
is a lot of fun. Guardians of the Galaxy. I love the switchover. I was kind of worried about the switchover myself, but I think they did a really good job with it.
Now that's going from Tower of Terror
Yep.
to the Guardians, right?
Yep.
We haven't experienced that yet here in Central Florida, but they successfully have made that transformation in California.
Yep.
So how far is Disneyland from where you live?
It's about 6 hours.
Okay, not bad. Like Vegas is like 4, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
and we can get it done in a little bit under 4.
If you haul ass.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of talk about the difference between Disneyland and Disney World. They go back and forth. All the Disneyland guys are like, well, we're original. We're this. And then over here, we're just like, wow, we're bigger. And they fire back and they're saying, well, he never even was alive when Disney World was built, and then you go down that rabbit hole. And next thing you know, you're in this lengthy conversation. You get blocked on Facebook for pissing somebody off.
It's the only park that Walt actually walked the grounds of. Right?
He probably still does. You think Disneyland's haunted? Do you think Walt's ghost is still walking around Disneyland?
Is that a topic of conversation? Do people actually think that?
Yeah, absolutely they do.
I
Bro.
guess I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I guess, but
He's got his apartment above the fire,
Yep.
above the fire department, right?
Yep.
That's where he used to live, and while he was building the park, right?
Right.
So he used to stay on site.
Yep. That's why they keep the candlelight lit every single night.
Right. I could definitely tell you that when Tanya and I went to Disneyland, we weren't sure what to expect, right? Because we were hearing all this stuff about how it's so much smaller and the guest service sucks. Nobody gives a shit. And, you're so used to having the world available to you, right? Because let's face it, there's so much to do in Central Florida as far as Disney goes.
Yep.
That you couldn't do it all in one day, right? So we had this false expectation in our heads when we got there that it was going to be like this horrible experience and that we weren't going to like it because the park was going to be so small.
Subpar.
Subpar.
Not quite the same.
Yes. But when we got there, it was amazing. Like, bro, phenomenal. I mean, churros aside, right?
Gotta love the churros.
Love the churros,
Love
bro.
the churros.
But we were impressed, man. Like, everybody was super nice. The whole thing about, yeah, we're original, that got old because a lot of people were saying, oh, you're from Central Florida. Oh, okay. Well, how do you like the park? Oh, well, we're original. You know, like, I heard that a lot. I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. You're first. I get it. We really enjoyed it. And I will say that we had talked on a previous podcast about ranking the parks, and I would go as far as saying Disneyland is better than Magic Kingdom. Now, Magic Kingdom is bigger, but I think Disneyland has got it going on better.
I think our experience was a lot like yours. Me going in the first time to Disneyland, I think, you know what, Walt Disney World is so much bigger, and you know, Magic Kingdom is so cool and still so classic, and we went there, and I was kind of worried about not liking it as much, basically. And we went there, and the second you walk through those gates, I didn't think about that at all, not 1 second.
Yeah.
It's still Disney. It doesn't matter. It's just, for me, the only difference is it's a little bit more crowded just because it's not as big. So some of the areas, the walkways and stuff are a little bit tighter, you know, but
Yeah.
the experience is the same. The rides are still great, you know. There's
Yeah.
not that much of a difference from one park enough to me to make, you know, to make it a problem.
Truth be told, we felt like the rides over there had a little more something to them, pop and sizzle, whatever. But I don't know what it was. It just, you could feel the nostalgia of the park. And when you walk in and you see that fire department and you know that that's where Walt Disney actually lived, and you could see how much Walt was involved in that park, that it's just like, wow, it's almost like you feel his presence. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's
Yep.
weird, man. But we enjoyed it, bro. We had a great time. The next day we went to
California Adventure.
California Adventure, and we loved that there. We saw the World of Color show.
That's phenomenal.
Bro, over the top, man.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
See, Barb and I went to California Adventure when the park was brand new. And I will say, originally, they kind of struggled.
Really?
The park itself just, I don't know if they didn't have an identity, they didn't know what exactly they were doing with it. It seemed like it was kind of a mishmash of a lot of things, and there wasn't anything that really stood out.
That's interesting.
And it took them a couple of years to kind of figure out how to do it, because I remember going back a couple of years later and it almost feeling like a completely different park.
Wow, really?
Like, I know, and it's funny, I had just read an article about the Superstar Limo, I think is what it was called, which is considered one of the worst Disney rides, if not ride, period, of all time. And I remember going on that ride.
Really?
Yeah, Barbara and I went on it. And
Well, that's not going now because I don't remember seeing that.
no,
Superstar Limo?
it was replaced by Monsters, Inc.
Okay.
They
All right,
replaced
I
the
gotcha.
limo. And then they had Soarin', which was originally called Soarin' over California.
Yep. Yeah, we had a chance to take advantage of
Yeah,
that one.
that was a lot of fun. You know, you get that smell of citrus is always
Yeah.
my favorite memory of that. And
There
then
you
the California Screamin',
Yeah.
which is a legit big roller coaster. And that was about it.
Well, we had a chance to go to do that Cars ride.
Yep.
That Cars ride out there is phenomenal.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
theming and everything around it, and all the little pokes at, the little nods to all the other things that they switched to a Cars theme.
Yep.
That whole Cars theme, the area in front with all the cozy cones and, the little food and Mel's Drive-In and stuff is fantastic.
Yeah, the walkway as you walk towards, if you haven't been out there, as you walk towards the Cars ride, it's almost set up exactly like with the movie.
It looks like the movie.
Yeah.
Just that main street in the first Cars movie.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Live in studio, Rich Ballent. That's crazy. We just wanted to kind of do a quick interview with you and get you on the podcast. And we go back so far in Central Florida, man. I mean, honestly, we could talk literally for hours
Yep.
about all the different memories that we've had in Central Florida and going through the theme parks and everything else. But I'm going to hit you one last question before you go. If you had to pick one ride out of all of them, we're talking California and Florida, because you have had the privilege of knowing both very, very well,
Sure.
to be stuck on for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It would not be It's a Small World.
Noted.
It's kind of tough. I mean, I know I love Flight of Passage.
Yeah, man.
Or that ride is one of the absolutely coolest rides I've
Barb
ever done.
sits out in the back. It's her favorite.
Love that ride. It's phenomenal. However, I will say, it's not a normal ride. It's not. But a couple years ago when we got to go on Space Mountain and they switched it over to Hyperspace Mountain for Star Wars,
Yeah.
that ride actually made me giddy.
Giddy.
I felt like a little kid on that. When I heard that Star Wars music playing in the background and all the TIE fighters were flying past my head, I could have went on it 4 or 5 more times in a row.
Really?
I absolutely loved that ride.
So that would be the one you would select?
I think it might be.
Yeah.
A lot of great rides, and I don't think I have anything that I hate about any of them. I mean, there might be some that are my least favorite, but I love the Hyperspace Mountain.
I already know the answer to this question, but I'm going to do another quick pop quiz question for you here before you go. Favorite Disney dessert?
Churros.
Ah, come on. That was too easy. That's really a softball.
So easy. It was.
Churros is better than Dole Whip, though, bro.
I do love the Dole Whip. I'm a big fan of the Dole Whip.
Have you tried the raspberry Dole Whip?
Yes. Not as good as the original.
Agreed. What about the lime Dole Whip? Have you tried the lime Dole Whip?
No.
Phenomenal, bro.
I bet you it's good. Yeah.
Phenomenal. They serve it at Polynesian.
There's so many great Disney treats. I really prepare myself before we go in to get all the Disney treats.
That's what I hear. I hear that when you go to Disney, it's like diabetes, man, because you're just pounding all
and
the
I'm ready to go with it. So I know going in that I'm going to eat a dozen churros.
A dozen churros?
Give or take.
Oh my God, bro. That's insane.
And then I don't touch sugar for a month afterwards. So
there you go. All right, folks. Well, there he is, Mr. Rich Ballent, joining the podcast. We certainly appreciate you taking some time out to do it.
An honor and a privilege to be here.
Yeah, man. That's my boy, man. We go back like rocking chairs, down like 4 flat tires. And we certainly appreciate you joining the podcast. So it's nice to know that the podcast reached Arizona.
All the way out there.
All the way out
in
there.
the hot desert.
Hot desert. Well, enjoy, brother. Thanks again for coming on board.
Thank
We appreciate
you.
it. All right, so there you have it. Pretty cool, huh?
Definitely.
Yeah, it was an awesome opportunity for him to come on the show, and I don't get a chance to see him much. So when
Restraining orders.
Yeah, well, the whole restraining order thing. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool what he talked about with the whole liquor license.
Yeah, I didn't even know that with Universal, because most places will run it franchise I assume is the word. So if one area is hit, the other one's not, and the other one's not, so they can always still continue in different areas. But that explains why, like, during especially Halloween Horror Nights, I've seen and I've known stories of people handing a drink to go to the bathroom or be in an association with one, and literally immediately being thrown out of the park, which again
absolutely
explains, oh yeah, there's so much undercover security, cops there during that time frame, really watching that, and mystery shoppers, as he touched on over at Pleasure Island. It was kind of the same thing.
Right. Thanks for Rich and Barb coming on the show.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it was so great to have them.
Yeah, it was really cool to have them here. Let's move on to sponsors. First off, congratulations to the winner of the UDN swag bags.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was very cool, wasn't it?
Covered a wide area. We had
We did.
Tampa. What was it? Tampa,
Canada.
Tampa, Utah, and Canada.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? So the next giveaway is at 1,300.
Yes.
So if you guys didn't win this time, you have a strong chance of winning next time. 3 additional random people will be selected by computer and announced on the next podcast. So stay tuned and invite.
Yes.
And
So-
accept it once you.
Right, and
Yes.
accept it.
They need to accept it.
Right. Keep in mind that we're going to be doing this quite often. So if you haven't won one of these awesome swag bags, you'll have an opportunity to.
Yeah.
I know it's very popular right now.
Yeah,
so
the only people not able to win is us admins.
yeah, well, don't get me started. But
Everybody else is fair game.
one of the questions that were brought up was, how do you guys select the names, right? Because originally there was a question about how the names were selected.
Mm-hmm.
And truth be told, to keep it extremely fair for everybody,
Yep.
we have a computer and we have a list of everybody who's part of UDN family, excluding the people who work for UDN.
Exactly.
And then
Boo.
it's a randomizer on a computer and it randomly selects the name. There's no rhyme or reason to who gets selected. So it's pretty much just a complete crapshoot on who wins.
Mm-hmm.
So
We send the info down the West Palm. The people that did the counting during the elections a couple years ago, they pick it for us.
there's no hanging chads here, bro. There's no hanging chads. Our podcast page on World of UDN has been updated, so check us out there.
Yeah, lots
It's-
of cool updates.
Yeah,
It is.
awesome stuff. She's been doing a lot of work, Jen has.
She does.
www.worldofudn.com/podcast. Brand new page, completely updated. So go check us out. Very cool. You'll see pictures of our mugs and talking about the podcast
And one of the two cats.
and one of the two cats.
Ah, yes.
We've got some major stuff coming down the line for the podcast. Hopefully, I think season 3 will be a huge change for us. You know, we're hardcore into season 2 right now, but season 3, I've got some ideas on how we're going to bring this show to the next level. Not-
Uh-oh, when
Thought
Bill
I-
starts thinking.
I was-
yeah, the wheels are turning. The wheels are turning. It's not a good thing when my wheels turn here. So
No, be scared, people. Be
Um,
very, very scared.
so Tanya's going to help me out with a couple of the sponsors because we have so many. It's like mind blowing, right? So Gifts Worth Melting For. They're the Mickey ears,
Yeah, homemade Mickey ears and scrunchies.
but they're cloth though,
They're
right?
cloth, yes.
So they're not like the other Mickey ears with the
the Magic
wires.
Feather Shop. No,
Right. It's
which I love
completely
their
different.
ears. Sorry.
Yeah, don't I know? So
Yeah, they're two very different mouse ear looks.
okay.
Apples and oranges.
Yeah.
And then we have Cute College Fits, which is the hand painted tumblers.
Yes, the wine glasses. And
So,
mugs
ladies,
and-
if you're interested in hand custom Universal, mostly Disney though, right?
mostly Disney,
Wine tumblers, these glass wine tumblers, they're really popular
they
right
have
now.
stemless, and they
Stemless.
also have Starbucks mugs and
Oh,
all
yeah.
kinds of stuff. So
Hardcore, man, it's awesome.
No, they
So-
were pretty. I was taking a look at them.
They
yeah,
they've got a lot of cool stuff, so definitely welcome on board. Gifts Worth Melting For and Cute College Fits. And then there's a couple boxes we want to talk about, right?
yes, I'm so excited for these boxes. So we have 2 that are available for sale right now. First one is Mouse Bubbles Spa Deluxe Box. That sale actually ends 8/20, so in about 3 more days.
Couple more days, right?
Yeah. There's only 5 left, so that's pretty exciting. So make sure you get
Good
on
sales.
and order one.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Each box has 3 bath bombs, 2 shower steamers, a bar of soap, a spa bathrobe, spa slippers, and a towel set.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
The box is $99 plus shipping, and they will be shipped out around September 3rd.
Shut up and take my money.
I know, I'm so excited.
Or wait,
I can't
shut
wait
up
to
and
get
take
it.
my husband's money.
I already ordered
Again.
mine.
Again. Jesus.
The next box is available until the end of the month, so August 30th, 2020, and it is a sponsor surprise box. And each box is going to contain a candle from 3 Cheeky Chicks Wax Company, a shirt from Perf Shirts, handmade ears from Guess Worth Melting For,
Yeah.
2 park themed sweet treats, and a surprise gift.
Don't.
And these boxes are $65 plus shipping, and these will ship out on September 10th. So you can either go to our Facebook page. There is a link on there, Or you can go to worldofudn.com and go under the UDN Marketplace, and you will find where you can order those.
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
These boxes are so cool. Really, really awesome stuff. You definitely want to be part of this. Order them before they're all gone. You know, that first box is going quick.
Yeah, 5 left.
Yeah, man. So if you
And
want to
I
get
wanna
in
say
on
we
this.
started off with like 20 or 25 of them.
So I guess my next question is, how many boxes have we ordered?
Just one.
Oh, just one.
Well,
Just one.
one spa and one sponsor.
Oh, okay. So it's not just one box. It's 2 boxes, but it's just one order.
It's one
It's
Disney Christmas tree and one non-Disney.
Oh, God.
Well, it's one of each box.
Jen's like, I have 7. What? You have what?
So-
7 Christmas trees? What do you live in, a mansion?
and one
But
behind her that was
speaking
already
of
up.
Christmas, you know,
Jesus.
these boxes would make a great Christmas gift for
Indeed they
somebody.
would.
Especially
Indeed they
that
would.
especially that spa box.
Yeah, Jen, your people here would like to have a Christmas gift.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You know, the people that put on your podcast, you know? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? In the mail.
Patchouli.
Pachurini. Whatever. Pick a nose. Pick a pepper. Whatever. All right. So
Sorry, Jen.
I think we're going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for helping out with the podcast. Thank you for everybody who's been listening to us. We have an enormous amount of listeners now, and we're international. We're not just in the United States, so that's super awesome.
Yes.
We want to thank every single person out there for taking the time to download and listen to this podcast.
Tolerate our voices.
We love every single one of you, and you know we will continue to do this and make this wonderful podcast even better. Absolutely. If you
Yes.
want to hear something
Idea for the
stuff to
show?
cover,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, we have got more than enough stuff to talk about, but we can always answer questions. Hashtag Ask Indy is coming.
Indy, yes.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff. So we'll see there. But to wrap things up, another awesome podcast. Thank you very much. If you guys are in the parks, be safe, have fun, don't freak out, wear your mask. Be thankful we have these parks open. Last but not least, have fun.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll talk soon.
You have been listening to the official Universal Disney Nuts podcast. Please visit our website at worldofudn.com and join us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the latest updates, news, and events from your favorite theme parks. See you in 2 weeks.